Hi, Jason.
Hey, how are you, Daniel?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Well, thank you for having me back on again. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Sheesh, only a
welcome.
few months after, huh?
Yeah.
I was such a good guest. You had to have me on again so
Yeah,
soon, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I just like talking to you. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just how I feel. That it's kind of
Okay,
it
fair enough.
just but yesterday was on a different podcast promoting my album that's coming out in January. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
How
So
many songs are on the album?
7.
Cool. So it'll
It's
be on
like a
all the
mix.
platforms, the Spotify's.
It's yeah, everything that you listen to music on. But it's mostly acoustic, but some are acoustic, some are just like bass sounds.
Is it all your spoken word stuff?
Yeah.
I listened to some of it last time I talked to you. I can't remember. Yeah, right around that time. I listened to a couple songs.
I just
Yeah, it's
released
very cool.
I released a single, and that one is called Piece of My Soul, and it got featured on a local radio station here in Kansas City. So that was
Nice.
kind of fun, and it got um, played 3 times on different stations and on that station KKFI.
That's awesome. Very cool. You got to collect
Yeah,
those royalties, huh?
yeah. But then I found out when I looked on my phone this morning, when I looked on Spotify and Apple, it played about 50 times. And then I
Oh,
had
cool.
50, like about 50 new listeners or something. So that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. Very cool. I love looking at those stats. It's so fascinating to me. I put my first music on Spotify back in 2014, I think, or 13, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And with my old bands. And I love tracking, you can see where people are listening from, you can see their age range and gender identity and all that stuff. It's fascinating to me. I obsess over the stats and stuff like that. It's cool.
I
You
think
see
it's,
the spikes and when.
yeah. I mean, it's really cool to have the music up there. It's so expensive though, but I mean, you gotta
Oh,
do
to
what you gotta
upload your
do.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what, I don't remember. I think I paid $30 or $40 per song or something like that. It's like it adds up after time for sure.
I mean,
Definitely adds up.
putting an album, it puts an album on it just it's so much more expensive. And like, this time it cost me like, for an album to be published on Spotify, it was like $39 for only a couple of songs.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's
But
better though, because if you're doing a full album, you get a better deal generally. If you're doing a single, you're still paying
uh-huh,
that much for one single. So it's like
yeah.
it's kind of better to do multiple songs at once on an album because you get
Yeah.
more bang for your buck generally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not many people do albums anymore though. You're rare that you're
No,
doing
I
those.
mean,
It's a rare thing.
a lot of people like the singles. I guess it gets more plays. I don't know.
It's like a marketing thing, and it's like the short attention spans nowadays, which is brought on
Hmm.
by social media. So everyone has short attention spans now, and so every record label, everyone managers out there, like you got to just do singles. It's one single every 6 weeks is what I hear most of the time, and so every 6 weeks you put out a new single, and because people just aren't paying attention like they used to, and music is so becomes so increasingly disposable, um, and so which is unfortunate, but that's why you just have to be better. You just have to work harder and be better at music, I guess, because it is so disposable nowadays. And so
But it's
it's
also a
just
lot of
it's a tough thing.
money to put into the whatever you're putting your music on. It's just like ugh, waiting for the money
Hmm.
that comes
Yeah.
in from that, or just use the same same use the money that you get from the singles that get the plays.
What distributor do you use for to upload your music?
TuneCore.
Oh, okay. I've never used them. I've always used CD Baby for as long as I can remember. I don't
A
really know
lot
much
of
about
people,
TuneCore,
a
but
lot of people say CD Baby is the best.
I like them. I mean I remember I first heard about CD Baby in 2004 before there were streaming services. They would distribute like physical albums and stuff and physical CDs. And I remember you could go online. I think they sold downloads too, but at that time, 2004. But it was mainly I knew some local bands in my hometown that had their CDs like distributed through CD Babies. You can buy it off they made you like a web store kind of thing, and this is like the early ages of the internet when it was really starting to blow. And I think MySpace had just started to blow up at that time. You know, yeah, which is crazy. That was 20 years ago now. That's so crazy to think about.
That's crazy. I guess it's
Yeah.
still going, but it's nobody uses it really. I don't use it anymore. I mean, I know that they have it on
No,
there.
I
It's just so
it changed
stupid.
so much. Well, so what happened was they sold MySpace to Fox, and then which was around 2009 or 10, I think. And I was still like an avid user of MySpace at that time when Facebook was becoming more popular.
Hmm.
But when MySpace sold to Fox, you would see the front page of MySpace would be like Simpsons ads or all this stuff that not everyone wants to see that, you know? And it was always
Yeah.
ads for thing like MySpace become just this big ad center. Um, but I will always maintain this that MySpace was the best marketing tool for musicians. It was. I mean, I don't know. Were you on MySpace back then, or I don't even know
Yeah.
how old you are.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Okay. I
I.
don't know. I'm just assuming.
Well, I mean, yes, I was on MySpace at the time. I had a music page. I had a personal page. I mean, I was up. I don't know. I made
Okay.
so many freaking accounts on that stinking MySpace back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But I felt like the music went well. I mean, I got a lot of views for putting your music on there. I put some crappy music
Mm-hmm.
on there, but I mean, it's
Didn't
was
we
just.
all?
I mean, it did work though. But
Yeah. I like that it was better than like even a website. It consolidated everything. It was very simple. You had like your songs were up in the top right, and then underneath was like your blog posts, and then your shows were listed. It was just like everything was right there and very easily accessible.
and
And
your
then you also
top
had your top 8
friends.
friends, and you can yeah, and you can like
Yeah.
under that. I still remember it so well too. Um, but I just when I like reluctantly switched over to Facebook around 2010, I think, and I was like, this sucks. Like, it's not interesting. It's kind of boring looking.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, Facebook looks like currently now it's a lot of boomers on Facebook. Like, I still go on there sometimes, but it's a lot
yeah,
of boomers on
yeah,
Facebook. But
yeah.
it looks like it looked 20 years ago like a boomer paradise. Like, it should have never been for our generation. It was made for people much older than us, I think.
Well,
Just even how it was set up.
when I started, I was maybe in middle school. And my sister said, "Oh my gosh, my sister
Hmm.
has one. I really want one." And then I started to find some friends on there from high school. And I kind of just like, okay, let's do it and see how it goes. But I mean,
Yeah, I
it
only
was
did it out of
okay.
necessity. It was like
But I mean,
everyone said you have to migrate over to Facebook now, and and then Twitter came, and then Instagram shortly after that, which is this snowball of you have to have everything.
Did you ever use Xinga?
I did. For a short amount of time. I couldn't tell you anything about it anymore. I did for a little while. That LiveJournal was another one I used. And then I think of those, what was the other really big one? Oh my God, I'm like drawing a blank right now. There was a really big one that's still kind of relevant now.
Blog?
It's like it's a more blog based one.
I think it's just called Blog.
It'll come to me. There was another site though that was like a blog based site where you
Journal?
you would get notes on your it was something else. What is it called? It doesn't matter right now. But anyways, there was just so many at that time. People were trying to like
there is one that's called Live Journal or something. And
I remember LiveJournal. That's not the one I'm. Oh, people still use LiveJournal, really?
Yeah. They make websites.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny that the boom of social media around that time, where so many people were trying to get in and making different types of websites, and only so many of them. I mean, if you look at what Facebook has become now, it's like one of the biggest companies in the world, which is kind of wild still with Meta and all that stuff. But MySpace doesn't even scratch the surface of what Facebook has done. I mean, MySpace was at one time the biggest website in the world, and now we don't even talk about it. It's not even in the conversation anymore. You know,
Man, they
it's the
have
weirdest
Twitter.
thing.
Twitter is something. I tried it, for a little bit, and I don't really like it. It's just too much. Too much craziness is on that page.
I go to Twitter for news sometimes, but then it's such a negative place that I can't be on it for more than a few minutes. It's really like an awful place to be on.
I tried to log in back into the accounts I have on there already, and I can't even get onto it. It's just so weird. I don't want to make a new account. I don't want to use a new password. It just use the same one, but then I kind of was like, okay, well, I can't even get on here, so maybe it must have kicked me off or blocked me somehow. I don't know, or I blocked myself out of there.
Yeah. That whole thing, like making new passwords every other day, is like the bane of my existence. I got a new phone last week for the first time in like 3 years, and it made me re-log into every app that's on my phone. So social media apps or banking apps or any of that stuff, I had to re-log in, and I don't remember any of my passwords. So I had to recreate new passwords for probably 50 different accounts in the last week. And so my passwords are becoming like "fuck you," whatever, like, because I'm just so mad.
I mean,
Anyways,
I normally have on my phone. Everything's on my phone, but I'll put all my passwords in Notepad, so they're all there. So if I lose one, I can look it up and then just drag it across the screen from the computer to the phone if I need it to.
So I used to remember to save my passwords. I would either write them down or I would like put them in my notes app on my phone. And I don't even do that anymore, but I don't know. It just feels like so much work. Like it's like base level, like managing the things you need to manage on your phone or your apps or all that stuff. You have to have this wide knowledge of like memorization of like every password you've ever created. I'm just like, no, I'll just reset it every single time. And so I've had 100 different passwords for Twitter, Instagram over the years. Every single app you can think of has had so many different passwords. It's just so annoying.
It's a pain of making a new one, and it's also hard to, like, if you lose one, you have to try to you trying to like I'm driving out. Um, but um, uh, I like when you make a password, you always lose your passwords, or you have to rename them like something different so it goes through. It's so annoying. Why can they just have one
Mm-hmm.
password that can go through?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there might become a day where I'll appreciate that extra layer of security, you know? That day hasn't really come yet, but it is annoying. I'm like, I have to make a new password, a unique password for each place and whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's how it is these days. It's annoying
yeah,
at times, but
yeah, definitely.
I try to save them all on my phone, so I don't have to deal with logging in back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But have you been working on anything recently?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I have like a big batch of songs that uh I will be putting. I think my plan is to put out a song every month next year. I have, I think, 6 or 7 ready to go. So just like a single per month, like just like what I was talking
Um,
about, when you and I first started the conversation today. Um, gonna do that model of a single a month. I don't think I'll do a music video with every song, but a single a month. Um, and just kind of see if I can like challenge myself to actually make that happen because I only have, several ready to go. So that means I need to like get in the
um,
studio and like make sure like I'm working hard enough. And then I also we finished. I was in a short film that we like finished that finally, and we put the trailer out a couple weeks ago. Um, that which is a whole separate side of my career. I've never really acted before, so I'll
oh.
be in this short film that's coming out. Uh, and yeah, that's really what I've been working on is that short film, and then also like some music here and there. The year it's funny that like every winter, fall season, like I feel like everything winds down and I'm less motivated to do anything when we hit like November, December. I'm just like, I'm gonna be tired. It's cold
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
I don't want to do anything, you know.
It's kind of when I wrote the some of my songs, I've been using the old ones that I've recorded before, and I'm kind of getting sick of
Hmm.
them. Then there's maybe a couple new ones, but those are the only perfect ones. But I'm kind of have
You know,
another one in the works, but it's just I don't know.
I feel like we go through seasons of what we like and what we don't like. Like I'll have songs that I put out years ago that ever since I put it out, I'll feel like I don't know, it wasn't really my best. I think I could have done better. And then I'll revisit it. I'll revisit it years later, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is awesome! I really love this. This is like I'm proud of myself for whatever I did." And I feel like we always go through different seasons of like liking and disliking the work we've
Mhm.
done. I don't know if you do the same thing, but at least I have
I
over the
mean,
years of
there's songs that I'm getting sick of, like the songs I've written in
uh,
college, but I just wanted to get them do acoustic version of them because I'm sick of. It's kind of hard to get more people involved with my music. It's hard collaborating, but
mhm.
I got on this new album. There's maybe a couple of musicians on a song, but I mean that I'm very excited about. But it just I wish there was more to offer to everybody to listen to this album.
Mhm. What kind of musicians do you collaborate with um on your
Well,
music?
it's most of the people I've been interviewing for a while now, but I've been finding
Hmm.
just I love their style of music that they play. It's just like very mellow acoustic version but they have a different sound, but it's totally
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But I have a friend in Canada that's on one of the new songs that's on the album, and it's called "Growing Up," and
Mm-hmm.
it's called yeah, it's growing up, but it's mostly about Nirvana and listening to Nirvana all the time in the car, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of my favorites songs because it has piano, grand piano in there, and some guitar and some strings, and it's just one of my favorite new songs. I
I
so
love
then
any song that incorporates strings.
I mean
I
it's
love strings. Also,
just
by the way, that right there is a Kurt Cobain guitar, by the way, right there. By the way, it's a signature model. So Nirvana.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
How many guitars do you have in your house?
Let me count really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Wow, that's a
18 in
lot.
this room right now.
I
I've
only
loaned
have
out a couple to friends.
I have a couple, but I mean I have that old guitar from my uncle, but that's like way old and it's like kind of screwed up, but I don't use that. But I have a nice good acoustic that I bought myself years ago. And then
Mm.
I got another nice electric guitar from my uncle. He just gave it to me, and I said, "Oh, thanks." More in my
That's very cool.
collection. So
What kind of a guitar is that? The electric one?
it's red, and it's one of those very popular ones. Mostly everybody has a red one in their collection. I don't know, but it's a popular
My
one.
first guitar was a red guitar. It's a Squire. I'm looking at it right now. Actually, it's a red Squire. It's my first guitar
But
from.
I think that guitar is somewhere in this house or it's in my mom's house. So just
Mm-hmm.
this apartment can't hold so many things in this house. It's too small.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm crowded by all of my equipment in this room. This is. I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and this is like one of the bedrooms, obviously. And this room, it's like I built it to be a studio, and I soundproofed it and all that stuff. But I'm just like I've got cases everywhere stacked up, and I'm surrounded with technology constantly, and so many different things. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes.
Well, I love this apartment that I'm living in, but I mean it's expensive. I'm paying so much for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish, and it only has like a little room, one bedroom, and a kitchen and
Mm-hmm.
living room, and I'm just in the kitchen using my nice table, but that's not anything. Everything is on this computer, and I have a mic next to me, and then I have on
Mm-hmm.
the side I have another mic with all the equipment that I normally put on the table, but don't really use it. I have like nice speakers, like to record and all, but
Mm-hmm.
never use them because I don't even know how to use them. But
What kind of recording technology or sorry, app do you use? Do you use Logic or Pro Tools? What do you use?
oh, garage bands.
Oh, GarageBand. Okay, yeah, that's what I started with actually. Um, and then I went up to Logic after a while. But yeah, GarageBand to me is because it mirrors what Logic
Yeah.
is awesome. I mean, I love it personally, but um, Logic, I think, just added. There's a few extra things that it added on top of whatever GarageBand does. But GarageBand's awesome. Like I encourage all of my friends to use when they're trying to get into recording music. That's what I always tell them to go through first. Is GarageBand.
I mean, it's
It's a
free
great
and
tool.
it comes with the computer. So, I mean,
Exactly.
right. So,
but it's
I
a
mean,
genuinely good tool, though. For being a free
yeah,
app, it's a really good tool.
yeah. I mean, it has all the sounds in it already, so you can use it if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I made a song out of one of the songs. It's called Friendship, and I used all of that on from GarageBand. And then
Mm-hmm.
most of the stuff is bass or something else from one of the guys that's on the new album. He's on there, so and he's playing bass,
Mm-hmm.
but also there's also piano pieces from garage bands on there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's great. I wanted to ask you, do you ever, do you always do your interviews like this, or do you ever have people in person that actually come and sit with you?
I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get more equipment for that.
Mm-hmm.
I asked that for Christmas and my birthday because my birthday is coming around the corner in January. So I kind of wanted this system that's been like follow me on Amazon, and I said, I need to get it. It's on Road or something. It's like there's a platform, a soundboard that it's like you have two microphones hooked up to it
Mm-hmm.
because I would like to do in-person interviews if I can get people to come to my house and I don't have to drive anywhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're the one, if you're the one doing the interview and you're the one with the studio, you got the equipment at least at home. Like they should come to you. That's how that should work.
Yeah.
You said
So
you said you have mics though, right? You already have a mic, right?
yeah, I have one. I have a mic, but some of the mics are a little. I mean, they have a nice microphone that I'm using. I did one interview, like a personal one, but it didn't sound great with one microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And like
You definitely need to. Yeah, you need.
you couldn't hear me, and then you could hear the person I was interviewing. And it's not very good. And I said, "Oh, this is horrible."
Mm-hmm.
But normally I do it on here because everybody is far away from me. So
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, I know you have a scene down there in Kansas City, but I'm assuming a lot of the musicians you're interviewing though are probably not there.
some of them are in Kansas City, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. They live a little farther out, and I live in Kansas, so they live in Kansas City, and I mean, some of them do have the cars that can come to my house and do it, but I normally like to do it on the web
Uh-huh.
so I can have the footage to put up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Because I mean, I don't have a
Did you were telling me last time I talked to you, you wanted to put together some shows, I think, in your area. Like, have you made any waves doing that yet, or?
like. What do you mean, like shows, like live
I
shows?
think you had mentioned, yeah, I think you'd mentioned like putting together some live shows, like music shows and stuff in your area. There's like some venues
I did
nearby
a
you wanted to work
benefit.
with.
I did a benefit concert.
Yeah, okay, that's ringing a bell. Yeah,
But
do you think you'll do any more of those?
yeah, would you want to come out to Kansas City?
If I'm ever there, I would be a part of it, sure. don't know if
Um,
I'll go all the way out to Kansas City yet, but one day,
like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I
um,
yeah, I used to tour there.
I mean, it's it's cool. I mean, there's venues here, and I mean, there's venues in Lawrence too. But I mean, I
Hmm.
did a benefit concert this summer, and it was great and all. Um, and then it was for a with raising money for a um save this musician, not like a just like a community kind of thing, and I raised money for that. But there is another. Some guy was messaging me this week and asking me if I would do another benefit concert like a for Jeff Buckley. I said, well, I would love to, but I'm totally booked this year. Kind of trying to put
Hmm.
together with Best Buddy events and just have a wedding to go to this year. But
It was a Jeff Buckley like tribute show. Was that what it was?
yeah, yeah.
I love Jeff Buckley. He's like one of my favorite artists. Uh, I used to listen to him like obsessively, starting around high school time. I was obsessed with him.
They
Um,
the his management got hold of me somehow and asked me if I would get the bands together to come to the show,
mhm.
and then they just gave me a free a free jacket and stuff. I don't even know where the jacket is, but they gave me
Oh,
one.
okay,
But
cool,
I don't
very cool.
haven't seen it anymore. But it's maybe somewhere in my closets or boxes or I don't know. But that was fun. Um, but
Hmm.
it's kind of sad that he's not there. So I mean, it was just supporting him. But
Yeah, he's been dead for almost 30 years now, or 25. Yeah, 97. I think he died. He shouldn't have gone swimming, is what I should say. But
well, they say that he fell off a, a mount a fell off like a mountain or something or
no, he was swimming in like the Mississippi River, I think is what it was, and there was a boat that came by, and he. I'm not trying to laugh about this. This is really sad, actually, but he was swimming in, I think it was the Mississippi River, recording his second album, and a boat came by, and the wake from the boat like overtook it, and he drowned. Apparently, that's like what. So the story goes, apparently, but
oh.
very sad, tragic end to his life. He was very young too. That's at least what I heard. I don't know anything about him falling off of a mountain. I have no
Or
idea,
not a
but
mountain, but like a just a like a where a place where he jumps off of the to the ocean or whatever. I don't know.
oh, yeah,
I was
that's
listening
possible.
I was listening to a podcast years ago, and I was just like thinking,
Hmm.
and I said, "Oh, this is a great interview for Jeff Buckley." And then I got to know his assistant somehow. I've just been talking to
Hmm.
his assistant, and at the time, and then became friends with her, and then I don't know. I don't really talk to her anymore, but it kind of said that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, he. Well, I mean, I did. Do you ever listen to him? Do you know his music very well, or
Mm, I
okay? Yeah,
listened to it.
I was a big fan. He fortunately had like a lot of recorded material because he only put out one proper album, but he had a lot of recorded material. So there's tons of live albums and also some B-side records and all that kind of stuff. Um, he's one of those like once in a generation talents in terms of like his vocal ability, and even his guitar playing was really great too. But um, he's just, yeah, he was incredible. Uh, Love him.
I did watch a lot of his videos on YouTube, and it's like got me one day just sitting in my bedroom and just listening and watching those videos nonstop. And then there's a guy in Kansas City he sounds like him, and he's only like 21, and
Oh wow!
it's just, and he kind of looks like him, but it's just so funny when he's on stage. And I had him on one of my benefit concerts way not this year, but last year. And when I said to one of the photographers that was there taking pictures, I said, "This guy sounds like Jeff Buckley," but because he has the voice, and I mean, he was amazing.
I'd love to hear him. Do you know the guy's name?
Luca?
Luca?
Yeah.
Is that
or
it? Just Luca?
Lucas. Or Lucas, I mean.
Lucas?
Yeah.
Is that his stage name? Just Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's his name, but his interest, his band is a long name. I don't remember it, but I'll send it to you, though.
Yeah, if you remember later, send it to me. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear that. I remember when I first discovered Jeff Buckley, every time I obsess over an artist, I go look up their tour dates. And I discovered Jeff Buckley in 2005, probably. And so I go look him up on, Google him or something. And I'm like, oh, he's dead. So I can't go see him live, unfortunately. This is one of those things. It has happened to me a couple of times, actually. But yeah. I'm like, oh, man, what the hell? That happened to me with Nick Cave, too. Nick Cave and Jeff Buckley both broke my heart. Yeah, he died. He died like really, really young.
Oh,
or not Nick Cave. Sorry, not Nick Cave. Oh my God, he was the Pink Moon guy. It's gonna kill me. I have to really quick. I have to look this up really quick because it's gonna kill me. Nick Drake. Sorry, not Nick Cave. Nick Drake. I apologize. Nick Drake put out a few albums before he died. But he died in like the 70s. It's one of those things too. So yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times. There's something about this really sad. Oh, Elliott Smith too. Elliott Smith, Nick Drake, and Jeff Buckley all broke my heart because by the time I discovered them, they had already died years before. And so yeah, that's just how it goes, I guess.
But do you get to listen to their albums at all?
All the time. I do it all the time still. There's only so much you can find about. I mean, Jeff Buckley and Elliott Smith. There's like so many things you can look up and learn about those people because they had pretty long careers. Nick Drake seemingly didn't really have much of a long career. He was kind of unknown, I think, for a lot of his life, and died very young. And yeah, just it's like sad, but the music lives on, which is great, and it's stood the test of time. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough when you're into sad music. It's not a long lifespan for those people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I write with sad songs, and they come out really good. But
same here.
A lot of people don't like the sad songs; they like happy songs. I'm thinking, when people say when they listen to my stuff, they say, "Are these sad songs or happy songs?" I said, "Well, that's only sad songs. That's the only thing I write is sad songs. I try to write.
Well, it's funny.
Songs.
I want to make this clear. I don't think that everyone who writes sad songs has a short lifespan because I write mostly sad songs too. But I feel like in my life and my experience, the people that I love who've written really sad songs have a short lifespan. There's just a correlation between the two for some reason. But I love sad songs. Sad songs actually make me happy sometimes. There's something about them that just like gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. But yeah, I don't know. My point in saying this is never stop writing sad songs. I think that's great. Because if you have to bear the pain yourself, why does the world not have to bear the pain too?
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Well, I did when you were saying you had two people that you listen to that are dead in the world. Well, I have somebody that is not dead in the world, but um I've been following her since I was a like a child. She used to be on a TV show called well, she used to be on Disney, but she also been on like the UK, like the Canada channel for like um like let's see, oh like um Degrassi and all those fun things. But
Mm-hmm.
her name is Alex Johnson, and she was on
Mm-hmm.
one of those really like I don't know. It's just a fun show that I used to watch back in the day. Now she had a show called Instant Star, and that was mostly exciting. And then when she came to Kansas City here last year, I got to see her the first time. She came to Kansas City a couple of times, but I haven't got to see her because I was too young to go to the shows. Or I was too old,
Mm-hmm.
not 21 to get into the bars at the time. So I kind of said,
Her name is Alex Johnson. Is that what you said?
yeah, just
Might
released an.
recognize her from the Degrassi.
She had her songs played on Degrassi, like this, like the first beginning of the show, like her that
Mm-hmm.
she was singing the the title of the song of Degrassi.
Oh, like the Degrassi theme song or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I only watched a handful of episodes of that show, and it's been 15 years probably since I've seen it, but I wouldn't remember it now. But so are you saying she had just done the title song? She wasn't an actress on the show. She was just on the title song. She was the singer
Yeah,
of the song.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
But she had her own show called Instant Star,
Okay. What
and
was that on?
uh that was on that's one like the same channel that Degrassi was on.
Hmm.
But there was
Some
like
Canadian
mixture
channel. I
of
wouldn't have
mix.
no idea.
But I mean, they still played it in the U.S. That was crazy, though.
It's probably some distributor that like linked up with,
I think it was called the
whoever. And,
N.
yeah.
It was
The
called
N.
the N.
Okay.
The N, and it had like so many
Okay.
teeny popper shows at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started watching it, and I figured out she was doing music and movies
Mm-hmm.
or just TV shows. And I said, "This is a girl that I would want to see." And but she was also a musician when she did Instant Star, so it was all about music. And then I didn't think she
Mm.
did music after she was a musician. I didn't think she was a musician. I thought she just did it for a show. And then when I figured out she had an album and I saw her on tour, it was like, that's her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to interview
I
her.
like that. I
So,
like oh, did you really? When?
uh, well, last year, well, this year, but in like I think it was like not October, but in like in the fall. It's all on
Mm-hmm.
it's all on YouTube on my platform.
Cool.
But it was fun.
Very cool. Alex Johnson. I will look that up after this. Very cool.
She has an album out called Seasons. That's her newest album.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has a new album coming out that she has this new single out. I don't even know what it is yet, but I was trying to find it online to save it, but couldn't find it.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
But yeah, I like that kind of. She has like more like poppy, pop rock.
Mm-hmm. But she was also, you said she was also an actress too. You said the instant star, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I like when people have that diversity, when they jump from different forms of entertainment. I always thought it was really cool. Whether you're working behind the scenes or in front of the camera, like I like all that stuff. That's cool to me. Like people that when they have diversity like that.
Now, how did you like? So you were telling me that you were doing something like a film that you're a part of. So, so how did you get into that?
A friend of mine, I met him on an airplane back in 2018. He's a director. He's been doing directing and writing films for 15 years almost now. And yeah, we met on this plane back in 2018 and just kind of barely stayed in touch ever since then. And then fast forward to the end of 2022, he reached out to me randomly. Him and I hadn't really, we had kept in touch, but we hadn't really seen each other though since we met. And he said, "Hey, I want to meet up with you for coffee one day," and we did. And he told me all about this idea he had for this film, and it's a short film, but he'd written a script already. And then I think the next week I went to his house and we read the script together. And he said, and at the end of the meeting, and at the time I had no idea he was going to ask me to even be a part of it. But at the end of the meeting, he said, "Yeah, so do you want to star in this?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "It's about a musician, and I feel like you could do this." And I acted only a little bit in high school. I was in like theater in high school, but I did very little acting. I mostly worked behind the scenes, and so I was really nervous to do this. And so, anyways, this is back in September 2022. Sign on to do this, and then I think it wasn't until mid 2023 that we finally started production on the film. And then fast forward to 2 months ago, we finally finished like the last edit, like the film's done. But yeah, I acted in it. I also helped kind of shape the script after from what he originally had written. And I also produced it too, which meant that I had to scout locations and lock down locations we were filming in. Helped cast the whole thing too. I've been a part of every step of the process from beginning to end of creating this whole thing, and I've loved doing it. And then I also did all the music for the film too. Yeah, it's awesome. There's no release date or anything yet. We just put the trailer out like a couple weeks ago.
Where would it
been submitting.
Where do you think it would
Well,
land?
It'll be on YouTube eventually, but we're gonna tour it around festivals though first. We've been submitting to a ton of festivals, and hopefully we'll be finding out pretty soon where we're going to be accepted for any of those festivals. But we're in the early stages of that process right now. I think we don't find out actually until early next year. But we've submitted to festivals literally all over the world.
Well, that's
plenty
exciting.
of them here in LA, but mostly all over, so Yeah, it's cool. I might have to fly somewhere and go premiere our film somewhere, which is cool.
That
But
would be fun.
it's still
That's
early in
cool.
the process. Yeah,
A long time
yeah,
ago,
I had a lot of fun making it.
long time ago, I signed up for a TV show or a Netflix show, but never got it. It was
Oh yeah,
it
what
was
was
a
it?
for it was well, it was like a dating show for people with disabilities, and it's
Hmm.
Love on a Spectrum. And then I
Oh
said to
yeah,
myself, well,
I've heard of it.
then and then I said, well, I don't have a spectrum, but I kind of just wanted to be on the show. Um, but I just wanted to find love. But I mean,
Yeah, who
and
doesn't?
they just didn't call me back. I was waiting
Uh-huh.
every day for that call, but nothing. But
You know, I feel like
yes,
you could still probably submit for that. I feel like they're gonna. It's a very popular show. They'll probably do more seasons of it.
yeah. I mean, they had a couple of good. Some of the people I follow on Instagram are on it, but I mean, it'll be just fun. I guess they didn't really have a lot of people with health conditions or anything. It's all
It was all
other
people on the
things.
spectrum that they had.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I have a
Gotcha. Okay.
disability, but I mean, it just doesn't. I guess they're not looking for what I need or what I look like or something. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
here's what you should do is you should pitch them a TV show that directly reflects you and people like you and hope that could get made. Then you can be a producer on the show. You could have a creator credits too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, why don't you
Also,
email them and say, "Hey, sorry."
they're from the where they filmed at. They're from Australia, so the filming team is from Australia, but they also film in like
Hmm.
LA to the regular states, but it's just like they were they said to me that they would have one camera guy that came to the house, and then that was like only one person that would be coming to the house. I said, oh, all right, okay, that's fine with me.
Hmm.
One camera guy. I thought there was maybe like two or three. But
Hmm. I know that they did different seasons. I think, and I've only seen bits and pieces of that show, but I think they did different seasons. Like I think the first one was probably in Australia. They did one here as well, and I think they did one in England too, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's one of those shows that I think got so popular that they just branched out and took it to different continents. You know.
yeah. I mean, I did do the okay because I was at my cousin's wedding that weekend, and that I was supposed to do the interview. And I said, okay, well, I guess I have to bring my computer with me because I'm going to a wedding, and I also need to
Hmm.
have my computer to get this interview done. So, and
Hmm.
then I said, okay, well, we'll get this done, and then I can do whatever. But I didn't get it, but it's all right. I mean, I was so happy for it, but I mean, I just there's not. I guess was not my time yet. I guess
Your time will come.
but it's totally cool. I mean, but if you guys are listening to me out there in the world, uh, get me a show here. Uh,
Yeah, you heard him. Come on.
so I mean, I don't know. It's just something I would love to be. Um, do something with all my um fun little things I do around here in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. I would watch that.
Trying to find a date. I don't know.
Well, hey, Daniel, I've only got about 5 more minutes, by the way. I'm going out tonight to dinner in a little bit. Just want to let you know.
Where are you going to dinner?
I probably should have told you that ahead of time. I'm going to a place called Bestia. It's here in downtown.
Okay, before you go, so what is have you been watching any shows on like movies, any new movies?
Oh, yeah, a few. Okay. I saw Heretic in theaters. I really enjoyed that. Um, I also just watched a show called The Madness, which was on Netflix. I don't know, have you heard of that one? I think this week it's the number one show on Netflix for America. That was really good.
I don't. Then this sounds familiar, but I have to check it out.
I highly recommend that.
What channel was it on, or what platform was it on?
It's on Netflix. It's called The Madness.
All right, I'll look that up.
What about you? What have you been watching lately?
Well, there was a. Well, let's talk about this. Then, okay. So there is a show that I've been watching. I guess it's a movie on Disney, and it's called Out of My Mind. It's a girl in a wheelchair. She can't talk, but the person that's using her voice is Jennifer Aniston, and it's kind of funny, but I mean it's kind of interesting, but it's just supporting the best buddies and supporting people with disabilities. But it's kind of amazing though that
Very cool.
she's in it. But I mean it's a good film.
It's called Out of My Mind. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll check that out.
But just listening to music, I'm very been listening to LA and AJ, their new single called Sirens.
Okay, I remember them from way back in the day.
Well, I mean they're coming. They have some good new music out. So
no, I actually knew that because a friend of mine, she was a big fan of them. I remember a couple of years ago they kind of had a resurgence, Ellie and AJ, where they were trying to probably like reinvent, because they were like a Disney duo back. They were on Hollywood Records and stuff. I remember the whole thing. I had their album and everything. I remember, oh yeah, what Ali and AJ fun, whatever. And then a few years ago, a friend of mine was like, no, like they're really good. They're like changing their sound. They're like more adult now. And I actually really enjoyed whatever I heard. So you said the new single is called Sirens?
Yeah, it's way different. I love it. I had to buy it yesterday.
Very cool.
But I mean, I still have I still like listen to it on Apple. But I said, I have to buy it and put it on my playlist for my podcast. But then I was trying to get it on there. It wouldn't go on there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just figure something out. But then I was thinking, oh, it'd be really cool to get them on the show, get them on the podcast. That would be amazing. And then I can just talk to them on here. And
you have to start spamming them and through messages and trying to ask them to get on the show.
Well, I have so many people that I want to get them on the show. Yeah, I looked online to find like an email or something, or just like just message them on Instagram, and just bother them so much. And I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever.
It,
That's how you do it. You gotta just
I don't
message as
want to
many
be
people as
I don't
possible.
want to be their crazy fan trying to nag them to be on
Mm-hmm.
the show, but just be really
Yeah,
cool to get somebody famous on.
I think as long as you're respectful, yeah, they won't be annoyed or mad if you're messaging them a few times. That's okay.
So what kind of food are you gonna get tonight at the
I don't
restaurant?
even know what kind of food that they serve. I think it's a little bit of a fancy place. I feel like places like that, like the fancier places, they have like a revolving menu. They don't always keep the same style of
Mm.
food. I'll say this. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess this. It's probably like it's probably gonna be called New American, like French or something. Because every restaurant is called New American nowadays. If it's like a fancy restaurant, they always call it New American, and then like French fusion or you know Brazilian fusion or Peruvian fusion or something like that. So I genuinely have no idea. There's probably going to be some sort of crudo or tartar there, but
Is it like
no idea.
is the restaurant is it in Los Angeles or is it downtown?
It's here. Well, it's technically downtown is Los Angeles, uh, but yeah, it's here in downtown Los Angeles.
Is it far from your apartment or your house?
No, I think I'm walking there actually. I'll look up the address in a second, but I think I'm literally gonna walk there. The reservation it's 6:07 here right now. It's at 6:30 is when I need to be there.
All
Um,
right.
so
Well,
I'll either walk or maybe I'll take a scooter or something. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
But it's
Hopefully, you
very close. It's like a mile or two away. It's very close.
don't
Oh,
fall.
I have fallen before. I got stitches one time.
Oh no.
I got stitches back in 2019, but I won't do that tonight. I promise I won't fall and hurt myself again. Those days are behind me.
Well, thanks for coming on and chatting with me. It was kind of cool.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I was happy to do it. Always happy to hear how you're doing too.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but let's keep in touch.
I'm very happy that DJ Rossler got us together to chat and become friends on here.
Me too. Me too. I love Ross for that. Great guy. I was just talking to him earlier, actually.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I saw some pictures flying on Instagram today. So, oh, this is kind of cool. He looks very nice, and
Mhm.
he has a new outfit on each day.
He looks good. He's been working out a lot. He looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll let you go so you can get out and about, and have a good night.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I will see you next time, and maybe next year sometime we can do this again.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.